you hear me?
Oh, it's Kris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. One. Okay, so I did a refreshation. Can anybody hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Let me know. Let me know. Okay, thank you. Okay, so yes, yes, yes. Hey Cheryl, how you doing? And Felix is in the building. Yeah, y'all can finally hear me. I don't know what the hell's going on. Thank God. I just be flying by the seat of my pants. I don't necessarily know about like visuals, audio, and stuff, but I will figure some shit out. But anyway, so back to the show. So since everybody said they couldn't hear me, welcome. How y'all doing? Welcome to a brand new episode of Kris Avalon Unfiltered, a show where we basically talk about celebrity news, gossip, anything to do with entertainment. We talk about it on this show. So, before we get to said topics, do yourselves a solid and please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Kris Avalon Unfiltered. So, basically, all the topics we're going to be talking about, the new Fantastic Forecast came out today. I was like thinking forecast and forecast as in the weather. But yes, so the cast has been officially revealed. I'm going to give my thoughts on it. Plus, we have a Real Housewives of Atlanta alum who is coming back to Real Housewives of Atlanta for their rebooted season 16. Plus, the Beehive went in and let have on an Oklahoma radio station who tried it and then won't play that country music from Miss Bay. We're going to talk about that and my thoughts. Monique's estranged son. Yeah, I would sat and watched all of the videos before I came on the live. I have a lot of thoughts. That may be a long video. That may at least go on at least 20, 30 minutes. So y'all gonna have to bear with me because I'm gonna have to break a lot of shit down. And on top of that, we got clips. So hopefully with the technology acting the way it's acting, them clips will play. If it don't, then I always got a plan B. I got the quotes. And I'll still give my opinion. But I do want to give y'all some context in regards to the whole Monique and her strange son and Sidney asserting himself in the shit and the videos and the context. But if y'all want to see the clips, I will tell y'all where you can go and see the clips because I put them where they need to be put, so that way it makes it easier for everybody to watch. Plus, Boosie talk about child. Why can't we ever have just a good moment without him asserting them raccoon yellow-eyed ass into some shit? So apparently he was saying that if R. Kelly wasn't in the situation he was in, he would have delivered a freaking amazing Super Bowl halftime performance. So we're gonna talk about that. Plus, what else? Oh, so Jon Stewart, because I know, entertainment politics, that sort of thing. He's going back to the Daily Show, but he's talking about why he thinks his Apple TV show got canceled. I saw a lot of people was commenting on it, and I was like, I don't know if I wanted to comment on the show, but since a lot of people commented on my social medias, I was like, let me just bring it here. Plus, Jennifer Lopez is facing backlash because she went and pulled the Beyoncé and pocketed some coins to be a guest of honor at in Dubai, which we all know was anti-gay. So we're gonna talk about that. Plus, The Bachelor, that show that's over on ABC, they're finally considering doing a all queer season. So we're gonna talk about that and a whole lot more, and whatever else y'all want to jump in the comments and bring up, as we proceed with the show. But yes, so before we get to the topics, once again, please do yourselves a solid and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button, and so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, Cheryl. All right, so without further ado, because we had our little technical difficulty. Let's get to our first topic and talk about Marvel. They have officially announced their Fantastic Four cast. Now, Pedro Pascal was like already the big secret that was already out of the bag. We already knew about Pedro Pascal. There was always rumors that he was going to be the new Reed Richards, after everybody, including myself, wanted John Krasinski. But I get it. John's been busy. I know. I don't know if did he direct the new oh my God, what is that movie with the aliens that if you make a noise they kill you? A Quiet Place. I don't know if he directed the new one, but I know he directed the second one and the first one, and he's producing and doing all that other stuff. So I know John Krasinski is pretty busy. So I did want him, and I wanted Emily Blunt. I'm gonna tell y'all my full cast, or who my dream cast was after I talk about this. But nevertheless, so it's been announced. Pedro Pascal, we knew for a couple of like maybe a good month that he was Reed Richards. There was always rumors that Vanessa Kirby was also going to be Sue Storm, but it was confirmed today that yes, Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Eben Moss, Backrack, and Joseph Quinn are the new Fantastic Four cast. Now, for those of you who don't know who Eben Moss Backrack is, and he's playing Ben Grimm. He actually is on a show called The Bear, where he plays the cousin of Carmi. So if you haven't seen the show, he plays Carmi's cousin on the show. So he's the one that's going to be playing Ben Grimm, and Joseph Quinn is Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch. Now I know the name Joseph Quinn, but I can't remember exactly what he was in. But anyway, let's go to the story. So according to Variety, the superhero quartet, the first characters created for Marvel Comics by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, will be played by Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, aka the Invisible Woman, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch, and Moss Backrack as Ben Grimm, aka the Thing. As part of the casting announcement, Disney has swapped the release dates for the Fantastic Four, now set for July 25th, 2025. I kind of like that number, like July 5th. So that's like 7/25, 2025. I kind of like that number. And Thunderbolts now set for May 2nd, 2025. Those are two of four Marvel tent poles currently set. And that's speaking of which, Thunderbolts, in regards of like the character that oh my God, the Asian guy, the one that played Glenn on The Walking Dead, he has stepped away. He was not playing that role. They're saying that Bill Pullman's son is supposed to be replacing him. So they said that those are two of the four Marvel tempos currently set to open in 2025, because the only Marvel movie we're getting this year is Deadpool, along with Captain America Brave New World in February and Blade in November. Now, I don't know what's going on with Blade. Y'all keep saying Blade coming out, but I have yet to see y'all start filming anything. Now, four Marvel films are also scheduled for 2026, including Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. That's a ramp up for 2024. Marvel only has, like I said, Deadpool and Wolverine, which is coming in theaters on July 26th, which I'm actually not mad about. I'm glad that we're only getting like one Marvel movie this year, only because then we can, at least with Deadpool, they can take that opportunity to course correct, because I feel like that's what Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be. Deadpool's going to go, and based off the clues that I've been seeing in the commercial, he's going to basically course correct a lot of stuff that Bob Chapek fucked up with the MCU and pulling away Kevin Feige's privileges. And now that his ass got fired and they paid his ass out and they brought in, Bob Iger came back and course corrected. Now that Kevin Feige's back on board, now things can get done and can be rejudged. And now I'm excited for this movie. Now I'm gonna tell you this. I have yet to like a Fantastic Four movie. I did not like the one with oh my God, what's his, Michael B. Jordan. I didn't particularly care for that one. That was a one and done. It started out good, but then I don't know what the hell happened halfway through. And the ones with Michael Chiklis and Ian Griffith and Jessica Alba and who was the other one? Captain America. Chris Evans. I didn't particularly care for that one either. Now they was all eye candy and they looked good and the movie was shiny and pretty and looked like a comic book movie. But I didn't particularly care for that one or The Rise of the Silver Surfer. I didn't. So I'm just really hoping like now that things are getting back in tip top shape with, you know, the MCU, that we finally gonna get a good damn Fantastic Four movie. But I don't know how people feel about a Fantastic Four because we have yet to get a good one. So I don't know if people are excited about it, if they're not excited. But I kind of am because anything Pedro Pascal and that's my husband. I have many. um, anything with Pedro Pascal, I'm gonna watch. So for those who are not familiar, Reed gains the ability to stretch his body to astonishing lengths. Sue, Reed's girlfriend and eventual wife, can manipulate light to become invisible and cast powerful force fields. Johnny, Sue's brother, can turn his body into fire, which gives him the ability to fly. And Ben, Reed's best friend, is totally transformed into, well, a thing, with giant orange boulders for a body, giving him super strength and a perpetual heavy heart about his seemingly monstrous appearance. So basically, he's going to be all motion capture with a little CGI thrown in. Now, Matt Shackman, from who was behind WandaVision and Monarch: Legacy of Monsters, which you already go on the right track because I love the WandaVision and Monarch: Legacy of Monsters. If y'all have not watched that show on Apple TV Plus, I implore you to watch it because it was a good season, and I'm really hoping they get a season 2. But according to the person who created that show, they haven't been given the green light yet, and I really hope that Apple TV Plus reconsiders getting that ball rolling. So anyway, he's going to direct Fantastic Four from a screenplay by Josh Friedman, Jeff Kaplan, and Ian Springer. News of Pascal's casting first leaked, like I said, in November. So, well, I didn't say in November, but I said that cat been out the bag for months. Now, the funny thing is, I don't know how they're going to work this out, but I'm assuming that Pedro is going to shoot season 2 of The Last of Us before. That's why I think that's why they delayed the release, because it literally, like they said, it was supposed to come out earlier, but they had to switch things up because of him shooting The Last of Us, which I love season 1, so I'm looking forward to season 2. And for those of you who are not familiar with Vanessa Kirby, I don't know if y'all see, she's been in a lot of stuff. I think she was in The Crown, but which is a show I've never watched, but I heard that she was on The Crown. But she also has, she was in Mission Impossible. She was in Dead Reckoning, which they took the part 1 off because I don't think they're doing Dead Reckoning part 2, because Dead Reckoning part 1 didn't really resonate with a lot of people. Even though it made a lot of money, it was still considered kind of sort of a flop at the box office. So that last Mission Impossible didn't really resonate well with people. So I think they're trying to go in a different direction. But I love Vanessa Kirby in that part in the movie, and she was in the previous one too. I forget what the name of the last Mission Impossible, the one prior to Dead Reckoning, is off the top of my head, but she was in that film as well. So I like Vanessa Kirby. So I think she's a perfect choice. Um, and what else? Okay, so now my choices, just to wrap this all up, my initial choices, I wanted like I said, John Krasinski. I wanted him as Reed Richards. Emily Blunt was my Sue Storm because, they're married in the kind of favor those characters. And we did get a bit of John Krasinski as Reed Richards in Multiverse of Madness. Even though I did not like that movie, I did like the fact that they played a little fan service for him being in that. And I wanted Zac Efron to be Johnny Storm because I was like, okay, he's got like the chiseled jawline, and even though it's a little plastic surgery, and he's got the muscular body. So I'm like, okay, he could be the eye candy in Johnny Storm. And I wanted Ben Grimm to be played by John Cena. So those are my 4. But so like I said before, like I'm just glad that Bob Iger reinstated Kevin Feige back into the MCU as the super producer and course correct a lot of stuff that Bob Chapek did. And now we got Marvel Jesus, aka Deadpool, ready to clean up Phase 4 and lead us into Phase 5. So I'm not actually mad at the Fantastic Four casting. Now like I said, I just want the movie to be good. I'm excited, and yeah. So I'm not someone, like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not someone who is well versed in a lot of superhero comic book stuff. Like I remember as a kid, I had a really good friend in middle school named Iman, and he was someone who was very much into comic books. Like he would pass me his comic books, I would sit and read them, but I really didn't like. I wasn't truly like a comic book nerd, but what I've always been a fan of is I love comic book movies. So if a movie looks really good and it's got a great story, and I have friends that I know that are really comic book geeks and they explain stuff to me, like that's basically my zhuzhification. It's like I'm not that well versed in comic books, but I love a comic book movie. So um if I'm not sure, if I'm not really well versed on stuff, like usually when friends of mine, Esteban and Brandon, like when we go hang out together and we go to the movies, he will, we'll sit and we'll go out to a bar or whatever, we'll hang out after and we'll talk about stuff and if I have questions and I'll be well versed on certain things because I do research, he'll explain some stuff to me. So that's kind of like where my relationship with comic books is. But yeah, so I'm excited. Let me know in the comments if you guys are excited as well. Okay, so now let's get to some of the comments. They've been doing too many. Oh yeah, and I think the reason why they were doing too many is because um I believe because when they were trying to launch Disney Plus, there was so much stuff going on where it was like, oh, we need content to fill up Disney Plus. We need to get some original content. We need to get some things on there besides like the classic Disney stuff that the pre-existing Disney stuff. So I feel like that's what it was. They were focusing so much on the quantity instead of the quality. So we weren't really getting like quality MCU, quality Disney stuff. We were getting a lot of stuff, but it was too much to kind of follow along. And I think what lost a lot of people with Phase 4 is the fact that like look, prior to like up into Endgame, which is like that's my whole phase era. Like that's my favorite phase era. Like phase 1, 2, and 3, when you had the origin and kind of like y'all built up to get to the Avengers and all that other stuff. The one thing I've always liked was the fact that I didn't have to sit and watch every freaking MCU movie or watch Agents of Shield and all this other stuff to know what the heck is going on in a movie that I'm going to the theater to watch. So I love like if you watch a certain film or whatever, even if you missed out on Thor: The Dark World, if you watch something like Black Panther, whatever, just saying as an example, not that it actually happened. They'll say like a little sentence that happened prior in this film, and then they bring it up in, or let's just say Winter Soldier. Wait, no, yeah, well, whatever. It's like anything, okay, because I'm thinking because Captain America was in, Black Panther, so if you do something in the Black Panther was in the Winter Soldier. I'm bugging. You don't know what I mean. But anyway, so like just say like you take a little something, you say a little sentence, you put it in the movie, and it's like, okay, I've caught up. Now I have an idea what went on. And I have to watch the whole damn movie of something that I didn't particularly care for to know what the hell's going on. So that's what I particularly like about that. But then once they started setting up Disney Plus, it's like, oh, you gotta watch WandaVision to know what the hell's going on in Multiverse of Madness. And I'm like, first of all, there were some people that are just like, I'm not gonna watch this. Or like if you watched most recently, what I just watched? The Marvels, which it was a cute movie. It wasn't the greatest, but I was entertained, even though that script was terrible. But some people I was like, people were confused. It was like, okay, so now I had to have watched Miss Marvel and I had to have watched Hawkeye for that cameo, if y'all know what I'm talking about, at the end, to know what the hell's going on in in the Marvels. And it's like that's the ones that people didn't particularly want with that. So I'm just glad that we're course corrected. And I'm just hoping that Marvel Jesus is going to, save us all from that mess that was phase 4. I mean, it had its moment. There were some good movies that came out of phase 4. I did like Shang-Chi and I did love The Last Guardians. But other than that, I ain't particularly care what the other stuff. Um, Felix says I like the ones with Chris Evans. Well, that's why I said I love the eye candy, but I didn't particularly that like those movies aren't particularly memorable. Now, I will say this: if those Fantastic Fours came on TV, I would not flip the channel. Like I would literally just sit and I would have it on in the background while I'm doing work, and I would glance up every now and again and I'd watch. But it's not necessarily my favorite, situation. Miss Carol D is in the bill says, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too. I'd rather see a static. Aren't we supposed to be getting a Static Shock movie? I could have sworn that we were. I've been hearing rumors about that. I may need to look that up. The last Fantastic Four, yeah, it wasn't. I remember when I worked at AMC and that movie came out, and that movie, they had that in like all the big theaters. The AMC in Times Square, y'all had it in theater 12, you had it in theater 17, you had it, and it's funny, I remember all the damn big theaters. Because when you worked there 4 years, you remember all the big ones. They had an IMAX, they had an Dolby, they had it in all the big theaters. Movie flopped big time because it would be like y'all had it in these big theaters, and maybe like 4 or 5 people would be in there watching it. And I'm sure 4 out of them 5 was theater hoppers. So the movie really didn't do. The movie wasn't good. It started, like I said, it started out great. but it didn't start out. But it failed, and I think felt like it fizzled out during like halfway through. And then he said WandaVision. Yeah, I loved WandaVision. There was a funny thing because I remember I did like WandaVision. I had a roommate who's Brazilian, and he's not American, but he was born and raised in Brazil. I remember when WandaVision came out, and he was just like, he didn't like he didn't like WandaVision because he couldn't understand and relate to the concept of what was in there. Like basically with WandaVision was like she was using old classic American sitcoms to, I guess, work out whatever issues that she was like, dealing with her grief and trauma and stuff with the children, the husband, with Vision and all this stuff. So I totally get it because I feel like if you're not from America, you're not going to get the nuances. And if that's not what you were raised up on, if that's what you didn't grow up on, yeah, you're not going to get a lot of the references. And I feel like, a lot of times it's universal appeal that everybody wants to think about, or you want to just tell a straight up, straightforward story. And yeah, unless you were born and raised in America, you're not going to get a lot of those references and nuances. Now, I'm sure there's some people that, okay, and when they lived in other countries, they have been bombarded with American TV because I have heard the stories, but from people who are foreigners that just like, yeah, I learned to speak English because you get all those American shows all over, in other parts of the world and they watch it. So, um, yeah, so they're basically like what Felix says to the sitcom throwbacks. Not a lot of people are going to get those references, and my roommate just at the time did not understand the show, and that's why it didn't resonate with him, and that's fine. Everything ain't for everybody. I always say that. All right, so I do see we have one more comment. This is the modern one. I used to love Malcolm in the Middle. That was my show back in the day. Okay, so now let's move on to our next topic and give a huge congratulations to Porsha Williams Goubadia, who revealed, I believe yesterday, that she is coming back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So Porsha um, is returning to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. It was announced on Tuesday, and it's the first cast announcement that will be the show's rebooted season 16. Now, who said that Porsha Williams is coming back to Real Housewives of Atlanta? That's false. The reality star 42 said in a cheeky video shared on social media on Tuesday. But Porsha Guobadia, she continued referencing her new name after marrying the African Simon in 2022, is in the building. See ya. The fan favorite previously starred on RHOA for 9 seasons, but announced her exit from the series in September of 2021. And y'all know, like we didn't get her for a moment, but then she came back last year when she did the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip season 3. And I have to say, I like Porsha when she was on there. I ain't particularly care for the other bros that was on there, like particularly Giselle. I cannot stand Giselle Bryant from I almost said Married to Medicine from Potomac. I cannot stand that wannabe Vanessa Williams looking bitch because it's just her attitude. She act like she above everybody. She act like her shit don't stink, and then she a full on colorist. I truly believe in my heart of hearts that light skinnedness, that pretty privilege, them bright eyes that she got. She do be looking down on darker skinned women. I truly, in my heart of hearts, believe that. So that's why I don't particularly care for her. And she act like she's better than everybody. Which, girl, if you was better than everybody, then your husband, Mr. Minister, wouldn't have been laying low and being a Rolling Stone and spreading it wide with all them other people from the pulpit. I ain't judging. I'm just saying. Well, I am judging a little bit. So she says, I'm incredibly thankful for the vision and faith NBC Universal has put in me to be a larger part of the family. This is what she said in a statement. I'm looking forward to being back on RHOA and showing the world my new world. Well, hopefully it won't end up in divorce because, a lot of times I'll be going on these reality shows and showing off how your life is like. And, once you start doing that, you open up a Pandora's box for people to judge and ridicule and criticize and talk shit about your relationship and try to come between you and all that other mess. But like I said, you know what? Or maybe not like I said, but here's the thing. This is not Portia's first time at the rodeo. She did RHOA, like we said, for 9 years. And now then she did Ultimate Girl Trip, and she's popped up on reality shows here and there. I'd actually love to see her. Sidebar, speaking of, reality shows, I feel like she'd be a perfect fit for The Traitors. The Traitor season 3 is coming. So if Portia thought about wanting to go on that show, that'd be the cackle and the kiki. Okay, so and I do like the fact that she's getting on there. Because Candy talked about after 14 seasons, she's not coming back, which is just as well. Because, like I said, for a long time, Candy gave us a lot, but she ain't really. But for the past couple of seasons, Candy really ain't been giving what needs to be given. So if she decided to go, Bio con Dios, it was nice knowing you, sis. And I'm sure you got other things going on, but at this time, it's like, yeah, you can put yourself on pause and step away. And if you want to come back down the road, um, that'd be great. But like I said, the people I want on the show, I want Porsha. I'm glad she's coming back. I would love to have Phaedra come back. So I really hope that there are talks about her coming back. Y'all can leave Sheree at the chateau. We don't need Drew to come back because she was boring. Sanya got on my root canal nerve with her damn family members. Marlo, y'all can keep that low down dirty dog where she at over at La Archive. Bitch don't even know how to spell La Archive. Put an L-E apostrophe. Bitch, if you're supposed to be Miss Upper Echelon, Miss Bougie, Miss French, I don't know how the hell you misspell La Archive the wrong way. If you're supposed to be all about like the French, you should get you a French friend. But I guess because y'all be out there, with the pomp and circumstance out in Atlanta, y'all be thinking we too dumb to know that La Archive is L apostrophe, not L-E apostrophe. But that's the English teacher coming out. But anyway, so yeah, we don't need Marlo to come back. So I just want, like I said, I want Phaedra, I want Porsha, and I like Kenya. And if y'all want to, for the just sake of the ratings and the grist for the mill and the drama of it all, maybe get Kim Zolciak. I don't want Kim to come back, but because of so much shit that's going on in her personal life, I kind of do want Kim to come back, because it would just be juicy just to have all that tea coming out and all that tea spilling. So good luck to you, Porsha. I'm glad you're coming back to the show, and I'm definitely looking forward to finding out who the full cast is going to be for this Real Housewives of Atlanta reboot. Because quiet as it's kept, y'all need it. Y'all need this reboot. And Cheryl J says I agree. Well, thank you. All right, so let's move on to our next topic, and let's talk about Miss Beyoncé, because we talked a little bit about Beyonce yesterday, um, where we talked about the album is supposed to be coming out. The new album, part 2 of the Renaissance era, is supposed to be country. Already established, like she said, the third is supposed to be rock. I believe that has always been the hint. And where else is she gonna go? Because rock and roll is Black music, just like country music is rooted in Black music, and house music, which was Act 1, is rooted in house music. Azealia Banks, we already discussed that yesterday. She went in and let have. Now, I know her delivery was a little harsh because that's New York. Sorry, sometimes a lot of us from New York, we give it to you straight with no chaser. We ain't got no time to beat around the bush. It did come across that what she said was harsh. However, I did agree with her on some of the stuff that she said. Now, if you didn't see yesterday's episode, it is in the archives over on YouTube. You can watch it after this one. But for the most part, I kind of, even though it was a little harsh, I do agree with Azealia Banks with some of the stuff she said on some of the theories and the fears that I have about her. I do feel like Beyonce is playing a little bit of country cosplay. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like the idea that she is going into country because, she's from Houston, Texas. Um, and she has dabbled in country music before. Didn't she perform at one of them country music awards and people caught a whole attitude about her performing at the country music awards, acting like, because a lot of you colonizers out here want to gatekeep like country music is y'all's. Well, bitch, first of all, y'all colonized it from the Black folks, and y'all dominated. It has been dominated by white people, and there are Black people like that play in that space of country music. And I really hope that Beyonce reaches out to them and incorporates them on this album like she did with the gays, such as T.S. Madison and Kevin Aviance and, Kevin Prodigy and so many others, which she did on the Act 1 album when she was paying homage to the house genre and having Honey Dijon produce a couple of tracks. So if you're gonna pander to the gays on Act 1, I need you to pander to the country people in Act 2. And I know the person that produced, I don't know if he produced Texas Hold'em and 16 Carriages. I don't know why I want to call it 16 Candles so damn bad. Probably because of that damn movie. I do love 16 Candles with Molly Ringwald. But I know the guy because I think he was on TMZ or whatever, and it was talking about it. And the person that produced is Black. I also did not know that. I think what was it? Texas Hold'em was co-written by Raphael Sadiq. I gagged when I heard that, but I'm not surprised because Raphael Sadiq kind of plays in that space of like country and folk and rock. And remember Lucy Pearl? Like and Tony, I mean Tony was more up tempo R&B hip hop that sort of thing, but and New Jack Swing. But but him doing but when he did Lucy Pearl, they was dabbling in the rock and the country and on all that other stuff. So I can see why she brought him in to do what they was doing. So um shortly after the two songs came out, because I was like, I don't know how the Beehive gonna feel about this. Because like I said, when I posted on social media, a lot of people was in my comments and they were mixed about the Beyonce thing. Some people was here for it because they understand the idea behind black, country music is rooted in black music. So that I understand. I understand she wants to do the edutainment thing, which is like educating and insane, which is what Beyonce is doing with this whole Renaissance era. And I'm here for it. I'm all about the edutainment and educating the girls and the queens and the boys and everybody else in between on the history of Black music and the influences that Black people have had on a lot of the genres that y'all listen to, that y'all be thinking is just white people music. Because I don't know, bitch. We've been doing this for years in them, and when you was living in them houses, on the plantation, what kind of music you think them Black folks was playing? They was playing blues and folk, and they was doing the country. So nevertheless, I was kind of worried, like, okay, so this might be the first album that people gonna be like, okay, now Beyonce can't, she could jump in all these different genres, but I don't know how I feel about the whole country thing. Because me listening to them songs, I don't feel like they were country country. I felt it was a little country light. Maybe she was trying to ease people on into it. But I've noticed that the reviews have been mixed by a lot of people who's been talking about it. So those songs that she came out with, Texas Hold'em and 16 Carriages, there was an Oklahoma radio station, who said they wasn't going to play the music because they're not country. But a listener accused them of purposely borrowing her music, citing racism and all that other stuff. So, according to Radar Online, it says the country station in Oklahoma will now be playing Beyonce's new hit, Texas Hold'em, after being flooded with requests and accusations of racism. A representative for KYKC tells Radar Online that he's never seen this many country song requests before, and that the station will happily play Beyonce, but had to go through protocol first. KYKC was slammed by the Beehive on Tuesday after a local fan claimed the station refused to fulfill their Beyonce request, saying, "I requested Texas Hold'em at my local country radio station after requesting, I received an email from the radio station saying, 'We do not play Beyonce on KYKC, and we are a country music station.'" And this is what the person posted to X. While the KYKC representative did not deny the email response, because I believe it's a fact, and that's what I wanted to say, is that I truly believe that they weren't going to try to play Beyonce, and I do believe that racism was a took part in it, but we're going to continue. And this is what they told Radar Online. They said the station will play it for the first time this afternoon, as they had to copy the hit from their top 40 folder and remove it to the country one so it could be heard on air, saying, "This is crazy how many requests we've gotten for the country station." And this is what they said regarding the Beyonce single. "This has moved so fast." Now, the person who didn't want to reveal their name scoffed at the racism rumors, laughing that the country gays, I mean, the country guys, country gays, the country guys are catching up to Beyonce's recent genre jump, adding that DJs usually only play the top 30 chart hits on the country station, saying, "Okay, they ready, drop the new music. I told y'all the Renaissance is not over." This is what Beyonce said in the commercial. So there, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Y'all got the whole gist. So at this point, from when the article was written, they said Texas Hold'em has already stolen the number 4 spot on the iTunes chart, and 16 Characters has been ranked at number 8. But now I'm hearing is that the song has jumped to number 1 and number 2 on the iTunes chart. So clearly the Beehive is out here doing the Lord's work. And the Lord, I mean Beyonce. But Queen Bay. Let me stop playing. All jokes aside, um, yeah, the Beehive. Beyonce put something out there. The Beehive is going to do what they do to get the music where it need to go. Now, maybe it is some truth to the fact. It was like, okay, so now we weren't, because I remember Felix, I believe, was the one. He and I had a conversation yesterday offline, and he said that maybe that the country people didn't know she was jumping into this. There could be some truth to that. Who knows? Because they're not out here on maybe they're not out here on social media following every little thing Beyonce does. Yeah, she dropped little subtle hints and stuff in the Verizon commercial, but for the most part, a lot of people really wasn't like paying close attention unless you a hardcore Beyonce fan to nuances and clues and all that other stuff. So maybe I'll say devil's advocate, there wasn't no racism played into that. But we're not going to sit up here and deny that historically, when it comes down to certain things, whenever y'all, when white dominated music spaces, when you get a little black person, this, that, and the third want to come up in y'all places that y'all want to say is yours, when y'all out here gatekeeping, when the truth of the matter is black music has always been rooted in country and we started country. Then y'all want to get mad and throw shade and have attitudes and want to come and control the narrative. But and then on the other hand, I do kind of feel because I don't think we talked enough about K Michelle yesterday. So I do kind of feel because y'all dragged her in the conversation. Was talking about anybody check up on K Michelle. K Michelle's like, why y'all need to check up on me? So because K Michelle been talking about for the longest that she was trying to come out with a country music album, and I feel like sis, you still can. Like Beyonce gonna do what Beyonce does, and K Michelle, you do what you gonna do. Like I truly feel that because K Michelle is from Tennessee, like she is a downtrodden, down home, full on country bumpkin, and I do feel like that is her genre. But because she is a black woman, and she looks like what you would consider R&B, they always want to categorize black people in those spaces. Y'all always want to put like black people do R&B and hip hop, and we can't do nothing else. Anybody that's black that do rock music, like we had the conversation about Lenny Kravitz, and some of y'all was valid on some of the stuff too, where he said that he never felt like he was at home in black spaces, even though he is a black man. Whether he's biracial, all other shit aside, he identifies as black. So we gonna say Lenny Kravitz is black. So, with him being in that space, I know some people say, well, maybe it didn't feel like he pushed himself enough to be in those spaces. That could also be true too, because remember, at one point he was part of MTV, and a lot of y'all, when y'all cross over to them MTV spaces, y'all kind of do look down on BET and the rest of them and think like, well, I've arrived and now I'm really accepted in the white spaces, in those mainstream spaces. So now I don't really need to check for y'all over here. But now that my star has waned a little bit, and now that I've got a little wear and tear, and now I'm a legend, and people not really checking for me in the mainstream because y'all all about Dula Peep and Ice Spice and all that other stuff. Now you want to come home to your people. So I don't know where I was going with that, but I feel like I made my points in there. So, but nevertheless, what I want to say about this is Beyonce, I know this is a huge risk, and I love the fact that as an artist, you are taking a risk and you're doing, something that a lot of people are not accustomed to seeing you doing. Do I feel like she could pull it off? I don't know. It has yet to be seen. Like I said, with listening to 16 characters and listening to Texas Hold'em, I still do not feel country from her yet. I feel like you're going through the motions, but I'm not getting country from those songs. I think they're okay. I need to listen to Act Two in its full situation to really give my opinion. But so far, based off the two songs that I've heard, I'm not really feeling this era. So I feel like for me, I'll give the song one good spin. I'll probably wind up sitting this era out. Maybe she'll sell me on if she drops some visuals or the concert when that comes out. I'll take a gander and watch it on YouTube like I watched Act One of Renaissance Tour, the one that she came out with last year. I saw the whole thing on YouTube. It was cute. But when Act Two comes out, I will give it a gander. Like I said, I will check it out, and I'm probably most likely going to sit this out because country music, even though I have family members that played it, and I grew up on listening. I mean, to some of that, depending on who I was around. It is not necessarily my genre. It's not my cup of tea, and you know, I don't. Even if I'm a hardcore fan of somebody, I don't rock with every genre they've done. Like I told y'all yesterday, I love Madonna down to the ground, but every genre that she has infiltrated, I have not particularly jumped on 110%. I told y'all, Madam X is like my least favorite record from her, and I think it might be for a lot of people who are hardcore Madonna fans. So, um, it's not so I don't feel like just because it's your favorite artist that you need to just have to automatically like everything that they do. It's okay to just have constructive, and I live for it. Like I love the fact that people are literally out here debating and having these constructive criticism type conversations. Because look, Beyonce is not God. She don't walk on water. She is not above reproach. I don't care who it is. I feel like none of these celebrities are. So I do feel like everybody has a right. If you're not really feeling their genre, if you're not really feeling what they're doing, it's perfectly okay to express that. Fuck whatever these little stand groups and shit gotta say. stand 10 toes down on how you feel. If you don't like the genre, it's perfectly okay. So good luck to you, Beyonce. And when that album come out, I'll definitely be looking forward to hearing what you got to say or what it sound like. And you know, I know I do know some people that do like country music. I'll definitely be having a conversation with them about this and getting their thoughts on this matter. So good luck to you, sis. Okay, so now we see new comments. Oh, I got a new subscriber. Hey, Jess, how you doing? I'm glad that you are a part of the mafia, the situation here, and that you are loving the videos and the content. I definitely appreciate all the new subscribers and all the new people that are coming in and just first time discovering this here show. Okay, so yeah, I told you someone called the station 37 times. Now, can you imagine? Was it one person or was it a collective? Like, I understand, like, some people be going hard for their fave, but here's the thing: you can. It's like that stunt I was pulling with Nicki Minaj and the whole, you know, buying up the, you know, 4 albums, different versions, and all the other mess. I can understand if you love your artist down to the ground, but if you're not really feeling what it is that they putting out, I'm sorry, but I'm not dropping a whole bunch of beans on this artist just because I want to see them win and see them be successful. If something's gonna be like me, I'm all about, I guess it's because I'm a Virgo, the authenticity is important to me. So I always feel like if it's not coming across as authentic, and I honestly, no shade, like I understand Beyonce is doing what she's doing and trying to edutain, and she's coming into the country space because she's giving y'all a history lesson. But if the songs ain't doing what need to be done, I don't care to be preached to. And I just feel like that's what I'm getting. Like I get the idea, but the idea needs to be executed properly. And I don't feel like she's properly executed with these 2 songs. I don't care if you're up on there with a heart coochie, you know, heart thing on your vagina, and you got your boobs out, and you doing this other mess, and you trying to sell sex doing country, and you up here looking like Nomi Malone from Showgirls. Like I don't. That all that the aesthetics is cute or whatever, but if the music is not doing what needs to be done, then I'm not. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to support it. And it's been happening a lot with a lot of artists and eras that if the shit ain't working, it ain't working. It's kind of like with Madonna and that dumbass eye patch out here looking like a band of Lepore when she was coming out with that whole era of the Madam X. I'm like, girl, what is this look? Like you looked a whole mess up there. That whole rollout was a mess. And I know that tour was a mess too. But nevertheless, the good thing I will say about Madonna is at least she is recouped. I mean, not even recouped. She's recovered because this new tour basically dances circles around that last tour and this era. Everything she's doing now, like we need a redemption from Madam X. No shade, but we do. Cheryl Day says, I thought they didn't know and thought it was R&B. We talking about the 2 songs and stuff that came out that you think that they didn't know and thought it was they probably did because I always because like I said before, like I think a lot of people assume because when you're black that automatically you're gonna do R&B music, you're gonna do hip hop music. And then what some people were saying, like I know people who are country music, like black people, as I'm because I don't care about what white people got to say on the whole country space. I'm more concerned about black people coming into this and having real nuanced conversations because to me it feels like I really want to hear more from them than white folks because I feel like if anything, and there's no shade, but I just feel like if white people say anything about Beyonce jumping into country music, it's gonna come across like y'all being racist. So I'd rather just hear genuinely from black folks who listen to country music or what they think. And from what I've been hearing, because who was it? I saw a video on from We Are You Radio. And he was talking about because he said that he had him and another person on there, and they were talking about um George who was on there. George who runs We Are You Radio. He has a radio show. But anyway, so he was on there and then he had a co-host and they said that they love stuff. So if I feel like if you're gonna do country music, like I need Tammy Wynette, I need Loretta Lynn, I need Dolly Parton. Like I need you to kind of go in those spaces and not just be giving, you know, Beyonce version of what she think country music is because it's like she was trying real hard not to do them runs and the screams and the signature Beyonce on them songs, and it was just hard to really like take the song seriously because I felt like you're not selling it. And what the one thing about even if you have the best songwriters in the world, the one thing about country music I know is they're all about truth. They're all about authenticity. You can't hide behind nothing when you're doing country music. You really have to let your hair down, or in her case, her wigs. And you really have to be vulnerable and you really have to bare your soul. See, you talking about people can't break your soul, but you have to bare your soul on a lot of these songs. And if they not feeling it, the country artist is gonna come for you. So like I said, even though it was harsh on what Azealia said, there is some truth in what she said. And we'll see when that album comes out what the critics say. Hopefully they give a real opinion and not be afraid of these damn beehive coming up here trying to dox them and do whatever. Like, we need real constructive criticism to still exist on this planet without y'all equating it with being a hater. I said, yeah, in the post I showed, because they said they don't play Beyonce because it's a country station. And it was like, yeah. So a lot of people feel like to Cheryl's point, they probably didn't know and thought it was R&B because they automatically assume because it's Beyonce that she's doing house, R&B, pop. She's not doing country. Like I said, she has dabbled in country in the past. She performed at the Country Music Award. I don't know if it was the CMT or one of them, because the Country Music Awards, they got multitude of awards. They don't just do one Country Music Awards. They got like, I think 2 or 3. So I remember there was a part where Beyonce did perform at the Country Music Awards a couple of years ago, and people was mad at her. They dragged her on social media. I'm like, First of all, I don't know why y'all trying to act like black people don't have the right to. Who's that country singer, the real cute one, light skin, curly hair? Is his name Kane Brown? Child, I wouldn't mind climbing him, but for the most part, maybe she needs to collaborate with him, or who knows? Maybe she will be collaborating with a lot of black country music stars on this upcoming album. I think there's another country music artist by the name of Yola that my friend DJ Corey Craig was telling me about. And I did add her music to my iTunes, my Apple Music. I haven't listened to her yet, but I've heard great things about her. So I'm going to check her out. So I'm going to start listening to a couple of these little black country girls. Who knows? Maybe Beyonce will, like she did similarly with the first Renaissance, where a lot of people didn't know. A lot of y'all didn't know who T.S. Madison was, and y'all didn't know who Kevin Aviance was. But when she was sampling his music, she basically gave him a resurgence on his career, which I lived for. But for the most part, yeah. Okay, so let's move on, because I feel like we've been stuck on Beyonce a little too long, Chad. Whew. Now, I think this might be a long one. Let's talk about Monique. Because child, her son went in. So y'all know, if y'all saw Club Shay Shay, and here's the thing, I watched Club Shay Shay. That video was damn near 3 hours. Now, I don't remember exactly everything she said, and I think it's because I'll speak for me, I was so wrapped up in a lot of what she was talking about in regards of, with Tyler Perry and what the hell, Kevin Hart, and all of them people that she had issues with in the drama, and then giving T.S. Madison her flowers and all this stuff. So I got so caught up in that, I didn't even hear when she was talking about her first son. So then this story came out yesterday all over the social media. Her son, Shalon Jackson, he's speaking out on their estranged relationship. Now, at first, damn it, I should have prepared this video, but D.L. Hughley came out on social media and says something about Monique, talking about how you gonna talk about your sweet babies and you love people for real when your own son don't, or your own child don't love you, and this, that, and the third. And I was sitting there like, what you talking about, Willis? Like, I didn't even know she had an older child from a previous relationship so when DL read, and no shade, he read her down to the ground. When DL read her down to the ground, I gagged, but I didn't pay much attention to it. But then this shit came out, and I was like, oh, now we have some there's some backstory to the tea. So I'm gonna play a little clip. Hopefully it works, because the internet been interneting as of late, of D.L. Hughley throwing a little shade at Miss Club Shay Shay. Oh wait,
like Wendy Williams didn't go anywhere. She just got a weight set. So Monique was on. Every time I see Monique these days, she's on doing some greasy ass video with her and her daddy complaining about something or working out. I don't know nobody that work out that much and gain weight unless every crunch you do has got Captain in front of it. But apparently she goes on Club Shay Shay and tells the story about how she came on my radio show and I wasn't there at the time. And my co-host Jasmine Sanders played a game that we played all the time with everybody called Would You Rather. She apparently was so offended by that she says she got off. She called me. Monique did, and she said I was very dismissive, like, huh? Monique's a liar. When Monique did call me, I heard her complaints. I listened to her, and I pulled the segment. So if I had been as dismissive as she alleges I was, that segment would have aired. It didn't because I respected her wishes. She's a liar. It's also befuddles the shit out of me how somebody who as a comedian talks as much shit about everybody else as she does, she has the temerity to be offended about anything as much shit as you say about people. Then she encouraged everybody, allegedly it stems from the fact that I used to always talk shit about her on video after video, and she encouraged her sweet babies to look at the video and find them. Do that. Do exactly what she says. And you know what you're not going to find? You're not going to find any evidence of that because Monique is a fucking liar. She's lying about that. But what you will find is Monique talking shit about some alleged contract dispute we had. Look at the ticket. It says D.L. Hughley, then Monique. She knows the story. But what she did in response to that, she talked about my dog, my wife. This broad even brought out my daughter's personal trauma. My daughter was molested, and Monique brought that shit out and told the world that I allowed my daughter to be raped in front of me. The lying motherfucker. She knows she was lying. And it only stopped when everybody from my family checked her. It's interesting. You know what else you won't see Monique doing? You won't ever see her with her family, videos with her children or grandchildren, because nobody fucks with me. How do you have sweet babies when your own babies don't fuck with you? How do you love us for real when there's no evidence of anybody loving you for real, except your daddy, who you apparently have to pay? And FYI, daughters are paid for by daddies, not daddies who get paid by their daughters.
Okay, so y'all pretty much got the gist of that situation. I just want to play that a little bit so that way we can set up the scene. So, like I said, this segment might be a little longer because I'm all about nuance and giving y'all the laying. I gotta lay it on down before we get to the root of the situation. So, her son Shalon, because Monique went on Club Shay Shay and said the following, because I would play the clip, but I don't know. It might get flagged. Like I told y'all, I be having issues every time I play people podcasts, all this other stuff. Y'all want to sit and do copyright bullshit and flag my videos. So basically, what she said was in regards of talking about her son, Shalon, who was with her first husband, Dallas Morning News sports writer Calvin Watkins. She said, we're still very much separated, and it's one of those things where you have to pray to the universe and say, let me do the healing, and that's it. That's it. Let time do the healing. It may heal it in time, but it may not. And that's something we as parents have to say. I've done what I can do. I've taken accountability for it. Now it's up to you. And this is what she told Shannon Sharp. Now, Shalon, who is a stand-up comic, went on social media. Well, he broke his silence on TikTok, I should say, to be specific. His account features a profile picture of him as a baby with his mother, and he alluded to being her child in a previous video following the Guess My Celebrity Parent trend, where he shared a clip of his season 2, episode 7, Scary Kim guest appearance on The Parkers. Now, his latest post is the first time he has explicitly addressed their connection on the platform. Now, the video is pretty long. I don't know if I'm going to sit here and play the whole thing. It is about 10 minutes, but I just want to kind of give y'all an idea, a little bit of what he had to say. So please hold. Here we go.
Hi, I am Shalon. I am.
Speed this up a little bit.
I guess I felt the need to make this video to just provide some context into this false narrative about her praying to the universe. I know to reconcile our relationship or whatever the hell it is. I wrote it all down so that way I don't go all over the place and get emotional or anything like that. So I'm gonna talk like I'm reading a script, but it's just gonna help me kind of stay together. But to address the Club Shay Shay interview that she did, where she states that she prays to the universe in regards to reconciling our relationship, as I stated, is odd. My mother and I both know that that is a very false narrative, and I would like to free her of having to continue telling that lie. Faith without work is dead, and neither one of us cares to put forth any effort to reconcile with the other. We are separate, as she put it, because she doesn't care to be my mother any more than I care to be her son. Neither one of us has had the desire to reach out to the other in a very long time. And I don't think that either of us anticipates that feeling ever returning. Speaking with my mother directly, in my experience, will either lead to some odd newfound moment of clarity in regards to how she was as my mother, or she retreats back to daddy to move forward with the conversation. And I'm tired of hearing my mother's truths. Newsflash, I'm not sure if people know, but standing in your truth doesn't make you noble. I'm not sure if people are aware of that. But responding this way, I feel as though it allows me to say my piece uninterrupted. To those wondering, well, why say something now? Call it a form of therapy for me, I suppose. But when her daddy had intentionally stated that they have 3 sons, but his wife is on the internet talking about the 4th son in a video that has millions of views, that rubbed me the wrong way. But anyway, to inform a child that you are not interested in being a mother at a time when that kid is the only kid, that has the potential to lead a child to believe that you are not interested in them specifically. But to take it a step further, you also admit, my mother had also admitted to me that she didn't do the best job that she could do, um, which would also make one begin to question, all of your past decisions and prior emotional interactions. But to be completely honest and fair, um, those were things that I was willing to get over. Nobody's perfect, we're all human. But my mother showed a clear lack of humility, compassion, and consideration when taking any level of accountability for those things. My mother does a fantastic job of acknowledging a lot of things, but she doesn't take accountability very well. And anything that she may take true accountability for, it's only at her convenience, in my experience. But if I had to guess, though, her interest in being a mother probably started around the time that she married her daddy and had his children. But that interest, obviously seemed one-sided, and as it should have been. By that time, I'm in my late teens, so to some degree, the excuse me, the neglect becomes easier to hide or validate, I guess you could say. There are now 2 baby boys in the house, that require attention. But still, during that time, however, I still watched her enjoy the love and admiration of total strangers more than my own. To this very day, my mother has never expressed to me when, if ever, she became interested in me as her son. That did lead me down a path of questioning my self-worth and struggling to understand the value of a mother in a child's life. In the interview, she also states that she gave me an apology, but an apology to a son from a mother that consciously showed no interest in him holds no weight. There are still women to this day that my mother will give credit to for being more of a mother to me than she ever could. Her assistant, my cousin, being one of them. Um, every time, though, that my mother would state that she was right here whenever I was ready, that ideology still blows my mind today, that a person could openly admit to being an uninterested, not put my best foot forward type of parent, and be so self-centered that they still express to the kid, you have to come to me when you're ready. You got to come to me for us to make this right. Okay. But I'm not sure what my mother could possibly think that she has shown me in the past or have for me now that's not money, goodness gracious, that would make me want to come to her, or whatever those feelings are supposed to be. Um,
Okay, so at that point, I'm gonna stop it there because I feel like y'all pretty much got the gist of the situation. So basically, he was feeling like, um, he never really had a mother, which I totally understand why he would feel the way he feels, because Monique put a lot of her career ahead of her obligations as a mother. She's not the only one that's done that. I believe Taraji had issues with her son because she did the same thing. She was a single mother. She put her son, she gave him what she could give him, but she was pursuing a career in acting. Same thing with Whoopi Goldberg. I remember Whoopi said that she had issues with her daughter Alex because she was trying to make it as a comedian, and then she became this big movie star, that sort of thing. So I get it. When you are someone who is a single mother, or you have children and you're trying to make it in Hollywood, sometimes, yeah, the relationship is going to be a little bit strained. So I totally get that. And the reason why he's coming out saying what he's saying, he has every right to, is because Monique was the one who decided to put his name in her mouth on Club Shay Shay. So at that point, I'm glad that he got to say his piece. I tell you, the piece goes on for a good 10 minutes. So if y'all want to see the full video, I do have it on thekrisavalon.com. I do have it in the thing. So y'all can go over to my website and watch the whole thing there. So I totally get why he wanted to feel, why he said what he said. And my thing is, it's like, okay, so now at the end of the day, it's cute or whatever if you want to give me material things, which he alludes to in the video. You can give me a car, you can give me this, you can give me that. That's great. But at the end of the day, I want a real emotional connection with my mother. And you buying me things, you're trying to buy my affection. And to me, that is not enough as a child who at the end of the day wants their mother. You think I'm gonna turn down my mother giving me a car if she's a celebrity? I'm not gonna turn those things away, but that doesn't make me a bad person for taking it. But at the same time, because I'm gonna get to Monique and daddy ass in a fucking minute, because they pissed me off with the shit they pulled. So, Miss Mamas, I love you for real on one end, but not today. Not after you did what you did and got on that live with that man and said that bullshit. So, um, I didn't know at this point that her son, Shalon, also has a kid. So, and then she also has a son by the name of Mark Johnson that she has with her second husband. So this ain't the first time. Monique been married 3 times. I didn't even know that. I didn't know daddy was a third husband. So, and I feel like, you know what, because sometimes these parents do this too, where it's like they get to a place in their life where they look at it that, oh well, I messed up prior in my past relationships, but now I'm gonna get it right with this new man, and I'm gonna have kids, and I'm gonna start this new life with this man and my new children, and fuck the kids of my past, because my past is my past, and I'm gonna just leave y'all back there. But guess what? At the end of the day, Shalon, and I don't know what your relationship is with your other kid, but they didn't ask me to put on this earth. You the one that spread your legs and had them damn kids. So for you to do what you doing with these children and treat them the way that you treating them, they didn't ask me to put on this planet. You decided to have kids with these men and bring them into this world. So, Monique, you need to get your shit together and get it right and work out your relationship with Shalon. Like I said, I don't know about the other kid. I don't know about Mark. I don't know what your relationship is with him. Maybe he'll come out and do a little video and speak about his relationship with his mother. But I guess he ain't gonna say nothing because his name is Bennett and he ain't in it, and he wasn't brought up on Club Shay Shay. But so where I started to go off on a tangent and about to cuss Monique out, they went her and Daddy. I don't know why the fuck I don't know how y'all out here calling y'all man Daddy. That's just weird to me. But okay, if you like it, I love it. So Monique got on Instagram. I don't even know if it was live, but it's in her Instagram because I'm on there now. And her and Daddy came out and started saying some mess, retaliating and responding to what Shalon had to say, because she always got to say, "Hey, my sweet babies." Girl, I ain't your sweet baby today. But we're going to get through this video. Y'all hoping y'all going to be as outraged as I am with this foolishness. So let's roll this clip.
Okay. We got it. All right, we're going to wait for some of the babies to come in the room so we can have this conversation. You would do that right now? Hey, babies.
Hey, hey.
We just wait for y'all to come on in the room so we can have this conversation with our community. What is that? Oh, we could. Let's rock and roll, baby.
Let's rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
The title of our conversation, or the theme of it, is called The Long Way around because ain't no shortcuts. Pickles, stop playing with that paper, please. The reason we're having it is a multitude of reasons, but we're going to start off with there was a Instagram that was put up, or I guess
It was TikTok, baby.
TikTok that was put up by
My son, my oldest son, Shalon. And this is what I want to say to this. There are some people that are saying, oh, you should be ashamed of your mothering skills. You should be ashamed of yourself. This is what I'll say. Let's let it play out. Because the same ones that said to me, I was crazy, I was deranged, we watched it play out. So just like with my son, we'll watch this play out. And I do want to address this though, Shalon. When you say her daddy, then that's when mommy gonna say stop playing, because you know this has been Uncle Sid your whole life. Uncle Sid knew you before you knew you. So for you to say her 3 sons, yes, you're absolutely right. He has 3 sons. He can't claim you as his son because he's always been Uncle Sid, and he knows your daddy very well.
and love that brother. And the irony of all of this is not what is said, but what's left off.
Yes.
See, you're leaving off the fact that the last time we laid eyes on you, your mother got you everything you needed for the newborn baby about 3 years ago. You're forgetting about how I, from Georgia, am talking you through getting your car after we gave you the half the down payment for it. And you were 31 years of age, 32 years of age at that point. And I'm negotiating the deal with the dealer for you as you sit there. And you have the vehicle you're driving right now because of your mother. These are the things that you're leaving out when you're expressing what you're expressing in reference to your mother. You're not expressing the relationship that you have with your father, where you spoke ill to him, not to mention spoke ill to your mother, but somehow your mother and father and I all have a loving relationship and communicate back and forth because of the love that we have for you. The one thing these individuals, and to the individuals out here that oftentimes speak after they've heard one side of the story, there's an old saying: believe half of what you see and none of what it is that you hear. Please don't take our word for it, but what we will convey is this. Those who are parents and have raised their parents up to being adults.
Your children. Raise their children up to being adults.
Right on.
Parents.
Those who are parents that
Yeah.
raise their children into adulthood know that there comes a time and a place in which they determine their own decisions, their own path. You can have multiple children that are raised in one house, but they act and they take on different things. The reason why it was so important for us to entertain these conversations that we typically have privately, or that we're influenced to have privately amongst the people in our community, is because we need to stop being embarrassed about being human beings and about being Black human beings.
Yeah, okay. So it was the gaslighting for me. First of all, why the fuck is he talking for her? Like, do she not have a mouth of her own? It's funny how you had so much to say when you was on Club Shay Shay. You had so much to say when you was on the Breakfast Club, when you wanted to call Charlamagne Leonard every time he said something that pissed you off. It's funny how she got so much to say when she went on T.S. Madison's show, when she was on Fox Soul. But when it come down to your own motherfucking child, this bitch is radio goddamn silent. That's the shit that pissed me off. First of all, Nan, no man gonna speak for my motherfucking child. I don't care who it is. He should not be out here speaking on some shit that ain't got nothing to do with him. Monique, you need to get on the phone, just like you wanted Lee Daniels, everybody to apologize to you in a private conversation and T.S. Madison got on the phone and called her friend and he called you and y'all worked shit out, you need to do the same thing with your fucking child. Stop getting on social media and talking all this other stuff because you worrying about what John Q. Public has got to say about your relationship with your kid because you out here looking crazy and you out here looking a certain way. Now we get it with the whole situation that came with Tyler Perry gaslighting ass and Oprah gaslighting ass and all the other shit them people did to you over the years. But now you doing the same fucking thing to your kid that they did to your ass. So y'all both need to get into therapy. Y'all need to work some shit out. You need to get on the phone and call your son and y'all need to work out whatever it is y'all need to work out and get us out the goddamn group chat. That's all I'm going to say about that. And you need to nip that shit in the bud. Your husband is not your fucking father. He did not bring you into this world. I get that he's trying to help you be a better woman and all this other stuff, but what got to do with your child? No man should be coming between you and your kid and dealing with whatever issues that y'all got to deal with. And you basically proved Shalon's point right when you went and said, well, what you left out was that we helped you get the down payment for the car and all this other stuff. He mentioned in the video that I played not that long ago that he wants to go beyond the material thing, that's not enough for him to want to be in a relationship with his mother. He wants a real, authentic relationship with Monique. And what they need to do is, until y'all start working out that trauma, because it's funny how y'all talk about when the kid get older, then they figure out and they do whatever. No, that's not how that works. A lot of times when I've always talked about generational trauma on this show when it comes to certain conversations, I've always said that at the end of the day, a lot of us carry a lot of the fucking baggage that our parents put on us because of the shit they went through, and they put it on us, and a lot of us, we either carry it or we figure out how to leave that trash in the trash, that baggage in the trash, we throw it away, we get some therapy, we do whatever, we work it out, we do a Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, I don't know, whatever works for y'all works for y'all. But at the end of the day, a lot of us, we either work our shit out or we seek some therapy or whatever the case is. And in this case, you need to stop depending on daddy to be trying to get your mind right and some shit. And you need to work out whatever the relationship is with your son. Because that video, the shit they just did together, that shit pissed me all the way the fuck off. And it pisses me off when people do shit like this. You're not going to sit out here and gaslight some child like, well, he's not a child, he's a grown ass man now. But you're not going to gaslight somebody into thinking like they the crazy one when a lot of the shit you did in your past, you should own up to it. You need to apologize. I need to work it out. And you need to figure out at one point with the son and the mother, y'all need to come together. Y'all need to figure out how y'all can mend your relationship. And if he not willing to budge and she not willing to bend, then y'all just gonna be at a Mexican stalemate and y'all got to figure out something. You go your way and I go mine. But there needs to come a point where y'all have to come to some sort of resolution without Sidney ass being in the goddamn room. There needs to be a point where you need to stop attaching that man to your ass like the fucking human centipede, and you need to have a goddamn mind of your own, because it's starting to look like this man is controlling. That's why I think a lot of times with that attitude, with a lot of the stuff people are saying, like Sidney ain't nothing but trouble, because it's starting to show with this thing. I'm glad that you got you the man and the love of your life, and y'all, thick as thieves, whatever the case is. But at some point, Moni, you a grown ass woman. You need to figure out what you need to do with your child. So I don't understand. I know some people are like, well, you don't have no kids, you don't understand. But I've been through some shit too. I've had situations of generational trauma and situations where things didn't necessarily work out between, where I've had issues with my parents and stuff. We work stuff out now, but for the most part, I did have rocky relationship growing up with my parents and me trying to live my life and do all the things that I want to do. So I totally get it. But so you're not going to only throw this off on this boy. At the end of the day, it's like, yeah, he could be 30, he could be 40, he could be 50 and beyond. But that generational trauma, the shit that you've been through when it comes to your mother treating you a certain sort of way, that never goes away. So that's all I got to say on that. I told you this was going to be a long ass video. Because it was a lot to break down. But yeah, then I forgot, she also, to prove her point, get on social media, because to prove her point, she went and posted a screenshot of, of between her and her son to prove her point. Let me pull that up for a second before we move on. Is that it? I got it. So yeah, it says, "Okay, baby. Hey, baby, just checking on you. Hey, baby, just checking on you. Hey, man. Good morning. Hey, man." I was like, "I know you're not calling your mother a man." Hey, baby, did you mean to send this to me? LOL, man. Hey, ma. Good morning. That is that my phone auto corrected ma and put man. That damn. Oh, so basically, I guess she trying to say, and this is back in 2021, but here we in 2024, and that was about 3 years ago, as they stated, because I think that was around the time when he probably had um the baby, and she goes and says, stop gaslighting us with this "hey my sweet baby" shit. I think that's her thing, whatever. But you put, "Here are the receipts from a mother who allegedly does not love her son. We are sharing this with you, Shalon, and the community. Some will completely get it, others won't. We love us for real." Okay, sis. And I see Angelica Ross commented, and I think people gathered her over some of the stuff she said, talking about he's a grown adult. I know too many grown men still blaming their mom, so why they not happy today? But sis, if you don't know the true tea of what's going on, and you know I live for you, Angelica, I love you down. But if you're not understanding the true tea of what's going on behind the scenes in regards of a mother and a son's relationship, stay out of it. Don't jump in and start talking about that kids out here blaming their mothers for whatever situation when you don't know the situation. And yeah, it's cute or whatever that you could put up a screenshot and then say that y'all having a situation. And yeah, there have been many parents who could be like, "Hey, how are you?" Send a little whatever. I'll send you a little basket here, there, a little, throw a little money or whatever the case is. But is it a real authentic relationship that I can call up my mother anytime when we have us a conversation and we just like kikiing like old friends or whatever in a situation? Can you have that? I have that rapport with my mother, and I have that rapport with my father as well. But can they do that? And so, like I said, y'all just got to work out whatever it is that y'all working out in regards to your relationship. But I don't like the fact of you trying to put up all this stuff and try to make yourself look like mother of the year, not mommy dearest. So we're not going to do that, child. All right. So we got comments. Felix says, "It's weird to me that when guys try to call me daddy because I don't see myself." Child, they call me daddy too. If she calls her husband daddy, does that call? I think he does call her mommy. Um, she has daddy issues. Calling him daddy is off, in my opinion. She does have daddy issues. I believe she said that she does, but it's like I don't care. I don't care who I'm screwing. You're not gonna call. Well, I would never call somebody daddy. But look, I understand like in the gay community, it's different. The gays, these young boys, when they be throwing it back, they want to call, someone listens about something. First of all, I don't think I'm old enough to be a daddy. But anyway, but I just think it's just like a sexual term that the gays have decided to use. But yeah, it is cringe when you got somebody like Monique calling her man daddy, because I do feel like she has daddy issues. And my thing is, if you got daddy issues and now your son got mommy issues, is it that a lot of the trauma that she dealt with in her childhood, she has carried that over into her children, and now the child's go, that generation trauma, like I said, it trickles down. So y'all gotta nip that in the bud and figure that shit out before it gets even worse. And Cleveland Legend says gaslighting. Absolutely. That's exactly what they were doing. That's why that video pissed me off when I watched it earlier. I was like, "Oh, I can't wait to do this damn live." So that way I can come in here and say all the shit I needed. I hope I got my point out. But for the most part, they were absolutely gaslighting that boy. And to me, I said, you out here doing the same thing to Shalon that Tyler Perry and Oprah did to you. And I'm not trying to take away from the things that Oprah and Tyler Perry has done, because tax write-offs and all other mess. But for the most part, there was a whole lot of gaslighting in that, and that just pissed me off. So, Shalon, I really hope that you are able to work it out with your mother without daddy getting involved. And child, I ain't calling him uncle or whatever it is, the weird names you don't want to be calling people. It's just like y'all whole relationship is just fucking weird to me. But if you like it, I love it. But like I said, Shalon, I hope you and your mother one day will work this situation out. I hope y'all work it out, because I truly want kids and to have the love of their parents. And I have too many friends that have like estranged relationships with their parents. There's some that have good relationships. It's either they have a good relationship with their mother, but their father's not in the picture. I have to say I'm one of the lucky ones that I have both my parents, and they love me unconditionally and all this stuff. So I'm really lucky that I have that. But I can't imagine being a part of something where you're a kid who just wants just the simple things. You just want the love of a parent, and you can't even get that because they don't, I guess, know how to give that love. My mother had to deal with it with her mother. Even though now at this she's at a point in her life where she has to take care of her mother out of all her damn siblings. But and I don't want to sit up here and tell all her business, but she hasn't had the best relationship with her mother. And I've kind of been a little hesitant on wanting to work a relationship with my grandmother. But I will not say that I haven't visited her. Like I did see her what was like maybe a month or two ago. So the relationship is kind of there, but it isn't. But I do have my hesitation. Like I hold back a little bit when it comes to certain people, because when you have that relationship with somebody, or that non-existent relationship, and you have that childhood trauma, because when I was 5 years old, I'll be telling a story. Well, I haven't told that to y'all. When I was 5 years old, because I said this mouth has always been what it is. And I didn't just wake up yesterday. When I don't like something, I've always been very verbal and vocal about my dislikes of things. And I remember I told my grandmother I ain't like her. And she kicked me out of the house. And then she tried to put me in the house one time. I think she beat me or whatever because I said something that she didn't like. And then she went and hit me or whatever. And I ran out the house in the rain. And she would like close the door on me and left me out there in the street. But guess what? My father's parents lived on the same block, because my mother and father met when they were growing up. They lived on the same block together. So at the time, because my grandparents, my mother's parents, whatever, my grandfather died, but my grandmother doesn't live on that block anymore. They sold that house, and she lives out in Suffolk County. But when I was a kid growing up, my grandparents lived on the same block. So when my mother's mother acted a fool and she pissed me off, I just ran up the street to my other grandparents' house. So that was the lucky part for me, that I could just run over there and with the black side and be with them. So shout out to y'all. So let's move on to our next topic. Chill. What's about Boosie, who, over trying to say something dumb for attention? Because I clearly feel like this is what this was. So, everybody was living for the Usher Super Bowl halftime. I already told you how I felt about it yesterday when I did the show. I wasn't really like, Usher gave showmanship. He performed his ass off. I saw some people was mad on social media that he was rubbing up all up on Alicia Keys. I'm like, he's performing. I know a lot of you new generation kids aren't used to affection and actually seeing people touching people, because y'all talk about, oh my God, I need consent. Can I like all that consent bullshit with that? Y'all be ridiculous. But I mean, I get it. Like you grew up in the club, and like the Candy Muse situation that we talked about yesterday, that consent, that's one thing. But it's like he hugging up on her. It's a performance. He's not really trying to have sex with Alicia Keys. Quiet as his cat. He just married his wife. He just got married on Super Bowl Sunday in Vegas. So he ain't looking at it that way. And plus, that's the same shit with Keke Palmer. So that's what happens when you start messing with the little 20-year-olds. A lot of y'all don't know nothing about love and affection and what real touching and feeling and all that other stuff is about. So people was mad over Usher grinding up on Alicia Keys. I kind of wish, it would have helped them vocals that she was giving, them struggle vocals, but that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But anyway, so Usher did what he did. I told you I wasn't really like, it was great that he did the show performance. He was super, he's perfect for Super Bowl, but as far as the performance goes, it wasn't necessarily my favorite. It was too much going on. It lacked cohesion. And so it wasn't my favorite, even though his Super Bowl halftime did beat Rihanna, and he did beat Dr. Dre and that whole one. But anyway, so Boosie decided to assert himself, and I guess decided to piss all over it, because what's a moment that Boosie not gonna have without throwing his 2 cents on some bullshit. So he basically said that he feels that disgracing R. Kelly would have put on an amazing Super Bowl halftime show if he wasn't locked up. Now, following Usher's incredible performance on Sunday night, the 41-year-old rapper, he's 41. Oh. Not only wrote about the R&B crooner performing, but also offered a curated set list. Now he said, because everything gotta be in caps, I think he Kanye. If R. Kelly wouldn't have gotten in trouble, I'm gonna read it like him. If R. Kelly wouldn't have got in trouble, his songs would be amazing at a Super Bowl halftime show. I can hear that voice now. I bet you can. I believe I can fly, step in the name of love. I wish, first of all, them songs, it's no shade, but I believe I can fly. Step in the name of love. I wish, the world's greatest. Fiesta, Fiesta. When a woman loves, same girl. And he took out and bring Usher out. First of all, Usher did a whole show where he brought people out. Why the fuck would R. Kelly need to bring out a damn Usher when Usher basically shut down the Super Bowl? And not only that, it's no shade, but I'm sorry, but R. Kelly's catalog is not Super Bowl worthy. No shade. I'm just saying. Like, I think people like Boosie, because he'll never sell out a stadium, but I think a lot of times when it comes to people like Boosie, y'all be so busy, so caught up in backyard barbecues because that's all he's good for performing at, that y'all equate backyard barbecue music with performing it in a stadium. Number one, R. Kelly is problematic. He was out here sexually abusing children throughout his career. Tried to he married one, Aaliyah, and pissed on one, Sparkle niece, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So why would you even want to bring him up? Like you just, it's just the support of problematic people when it comes to Boosie for me. Like, I don't understand why he always got to bring up the most problematic of people for attention. Because clearly this was an attention grab. I feel like everything Boosie does, because the gays ain't doing nothing right now for him to pick on us. So, and the trans people. So now you want to bring up R. Kelly because, oh yeah, this is going to give me clicks and likes. And I think he's another one who's addicted to the attention and stuff that, he's getting on social media. So the people went on social media and commented on what, on R. Kelly, on his comments about R. Kelly. He said, "Why are you thinking about this R. Kelly right now?" This is what one person said in the comments. As another added, "Boosie, why are you vouching for this man?" A third person said, "R. Kelly would have been picking teens out of a crowd to piss on." And then, so y'all know, R. Kelly gonna be in jail for 3 days, 30 years, 3 decades. That's what I meant to say. Now, in 2022, he was sentenced to 30 years in prison after being convicted of sex trafficking and racketeering charges. Upon his sentencing, Boosie voiced that R. Kelly's crimes didn't equate to the 3-decade long. Yeah, okay. That's why I'm glad you don't work in the judicial system. But 30 years is clearly not enough to the things that R. Kelly has done to people. He said people getting 15 to 20 years for murder and he get 30. Yes, he was wrong, AF, for manipulating young girls and sexing them. He wasn't only just manipulating young girls and sexing them. He was sex trafficking. He was doing a whole lot of shit with young girls. And he had help doing that shit too, where I believe that them people should have been locked up right alongside him. But because R. Kelly is the bigger fish and he's the big celebrity, they're going to go after him. So he said a whole bunch of other shit. First of all, I just can't with him. Boosie get on my goddamn root canal nerve. But it's just a nice change, I will say, for once, that he not out here trying to gain relevance off the backs of the homosexuals and the trans community. That he want to say something dumb like that. So it's like, y'all should not be surprised that this man will be out here supporting and throwing a bone at someone who sexually abused a multitude of young girls and probably fucked them up for life, when this is the same man that had his own kids sexually abused by a grown woman, his child and his nephew. So why are we surprised that Boosie would be defending R. Kelly? Anyway, so I see we got some comments. Let's get to those real quick before we move on to our next topic. R. Kelly blew it, done, over, out. Exactly. And I was like, who should perform next year? That is a good question. Really will. I don't know if she's big enough. I know she's trying to make her mark here in America, but I would really love to see Kylie Minogue do a Super Bowl halftime. She would be good for that. But I just feel like America still ain't ready for her, even though she's been in the game for 30 years. I don't need Beyonce again. We've had Beyonce a multitude of times. Y'all need to get, we need new people. I don't think Dua Lipa is ready. I feel like she's really been stepping her pussy up in regards to her stage performance. But Dua Lipa need at least 2-3 more albums before she can even think about doing a halftime. I don't know about Ariana. I was thinking Ariana Grande, but I don't know. Maybe her. Christina Aguilera, I think, might be a good choice, but I don't know if she can captivate a full stadium with her music. Maybe she could, but I'm thinking maybe Christina Aguilera. I know everybody's thinking Taylor Swift. Child, I need a break from her. But so that's why I've been hesitant to say her name. But I don't know. It's just it's hard. One person I would really love to see, I would love to see Pink. I would really love to see Pink do a Super Bowl halftime. I believe she has the catalog. Her music, she does rock music, so her music is perfect for an arena. She's been doing not arena, stadium. She does stadium tours. She's been doing stadium tour. That Carnival tour she came out with was in stadiums. So Pink would be perfect for that. Plus, she'd be flying all over the place and doing all the crazy shit that she's been doing. It's funny how I said Pink and Cleveland basically put Pink. Pink would be a good choice. Now, as far as Bad Bunny goes, I would love to see Bad Bunny. America's too goddamn ignorant though when it comes to Bad Bunny, because we're not gonna have a situation where y'all did at the Grammys where we had Bad Bunny perform up there and y'all go, oh, he's speaking I forget what they put at the bottom, where it was like, oh, speaking another language or something or another, where they put, and they didn't even bother to translate what he was saying. So the ignorance of that, yeah, I can't get behind that. But it would be nice if they had a Bad Bunny, simply because if you really look at it, the Latin community is starting to be is becoming the dominant national, the Latin community as a whole, they're starting to surpass white people, black people, and all the other, nationalities, races, that sort of thing. So the Latin community is becoming the more dominant, group in America. So it would be cool if they had, like, if they did one year where it was just like, y'all bring out a plethora of Latin artists. Y'all could bring out not only Bad Bunny, but, well, I don't know, him and J Balvin kind of been beefing a little lately. So y'all could do like I don't know, a Bad Bunny. I'll throw J Balvin's name in there anyway. So it's like a Bad Bunny, a J Balvin. Who else? Maybe I could throw in Carol G. She just won the Grammy. You could bring out Weezer and Yandel. I'm bringing out everybody. You can even bring out Looney Tunes. They produce majority of these people's music. You can even bring out Drake. He did that Mia song. Drake would be cute, but I feel like Drake can't do a whole. I don't think he could do a Super Bowl by himself. Like, I feel like if you're going to do Drake, there needs to be. He's got to bring people out with him. Like, I can't see. I mean, maybe Drake does have that pull of that catch. Like, there's a lot of people that like him, but can he pull off a Super Bowl by himself? That is to be determined. I am curious of where the direction. I know, but look, I know there's some people that's just sick and tired of seeing so many damn black people taking over the halftime. Look, that's the least you could do, especially after what y'all did to Colin Kaepernick. So as long as Jay-Z is in charge of the halftime, it just is what it is, and y'all just gonna have to deal with it. So I am curious as to like which direction they would like to go in next year. Country music is kind of sort of making a resurgence. So maybe that. You know what I was thinking too? Now it just popped in my head because they're about to do Coachella. What about No Doubt and Gwen Stefani? I mean, I know Gwen Stefani is the lead singer of No Doubt, but there could be a point where you have No Doubt doing the song. She does the songs with No Doubt, and then Gwen Stefani does her solo stuff, and she comes out with the cheerleaders, wind it up, and all those other songs that she's been doing. Maybe that would be a good idea. I feel like I really want a rock resurgence. I would love to see like a No Doubt and a Green Day, like something like that. Like, I want my old school rock to make a comeback because it's always been about the hip hop and the pop and the diva girls and all the other stuff. So it'd be cute to see like which direction they go in next year. Because like I said, I'm tired of Taylor Swift. I'm tired of Beyonce. Like, y'all always doing. Y'all not the only ones that exist in the world of music. I would, you know what? No shade. But that'll be a little too much for America. I was like, can we do? I would really love this. Is because I'm messy. I would love Kim Petras to get up there and do her whole slut pop album. And that's what I was saying. I would really love for Kim Petras to get up there and do her slut pop because she re-released the slut pop album because before she had the slut pop EP that was like 20 minutes. I was like, bitch, what is this? I need more. So she apparently heard us because she just released. I think it was yesterday that she released Slut Pop. I forget what it's called. I think it's like a revision. And she's got new songs on there. Hold on, let me pull that up real quick. Because some of the track list was a cackle. Because I did add that to my it's called Slut Pop Miami, and she got songs. So they got Slut Pop Reprise, Gag on it, Effing This and Effing That, Banana Boat. Not a banana boat. She got a song called Get Effed, Rim Job. Okay, I already know Rim Job and Cop Blocker and Butt Slut is gonna be my songs, bitch. And she even got a song called Whale Cop. I was like, child, now that would be the ultimate cackle if we could get her to do slut pop. But look, that's a little too much for middle America. We are so conservative. We live in a country that is afraid of sex but loves violence and abuse and all kinds of, hurting people. So maybe that'll work over at Eurovision or in Europe rather than America. So yeah, there's that. So throw it down in the comments. as I go on to the next comments, who y'all think y'all would like to see? And I don't know, that was a good question to bring up. Who would y'all like to see do the Super Bowl next year that I see some of y'all watching? Definitely put that down in the comments. All right, so now let's move on to our next comment, our next story. Because I was like hesitant. I was like, do people care enough for me to even talk about this? But I'll make everything work. But I've seen a lot of people respond to this online, so I was like, let's bring it up. So Jon Stewart, is coming back to the Daily Show once a week. I don't know why. I kind of wish he was doing multiple times. Multiple days out of the week, but he's doing Mondays. So, he had a show on Apple TV called The Problem with Jon Stewart, and he's basically saying he's revealing the reason why that the Apple TV Plus canceled the show. He says, I wanted a place to unload thoughts as we get into this election process. I thought I was going to do it over at, they call it Apple TV Plus. It's a television enclave, very small. It's like living in Malibu. But they felt that they didn't want me to say things that might get me into trouble. Now, Variety had reached out to Apple for comment, but they have yet to, response. So Stewart debuted his Apple series The Problem with Jon Stewart in 2021 as part of a multi-year first look deal. He signed with the streaming arm of the tech giant. The first season of the show aired episodes every 2 weeks, while the second season switched to a weekly format. The Problem had Stewart exploring a single topic with each episode. Now, while an individual with knowledge of the situation said at the time that Stewart and Apple's split was an amicable one, the New York Times reported that the duo had disagreements over topics that were to be covered in the third season, including AI and China. Now, members of the U.S. House of Representatives later questioned Apple CEO Tim Cook about whether the tech giant's decision to cancel Stewart's show was because the host may have been planning an upcoming episode about China, saying, and I quote, while companies have the right to determine what content is appropriate for their streaming service, the coercive tactics of a foreign power should not be directly or indirectly influencing these determinations. This is what the leader of the House of Rep Select Committee on Competition with the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, wrote in a letter to Cook. Now, while Stewart did not mention the rumors about Apple's alleged worry over an episode about China, he did say the tech giant didn't want me to say things that might get me into trouble. Now, as for his Daily Show return, he said he hopes to provide a catharsis to viewers this election season and a way to comment on things as a way to express them, and hopefully people will enjoy. And so I'm glad that he's actually coming back to The Daily Show. I feel like that's where his wheelhouse is. I'm going to be honest, that show that he had on Apple TV Plus, it wasn't my cup of tea. It wasn't something I was necessarily interested in, but I'm glad that he came out and did something different. I do feel like him speaking on not just one side, because I feel like the media, y'all like to get one, and don't think I'm out here defending Donald Trump, because I can't stand that orange, fat ass, Oompa Loompa ass bitch. But people should have the right, I feel, as political pundits, to speak out on both sides. So if Trump is doing some stuff that is problematic and he's trying to be this wannabe fascist, we need to call him out on stuff, just like with Joe Biden. I feel like there's certain things that he's been doing, particularly this whole situation that's been going on in Gaza. And I'm so glad that the King of Jordan spoke out in a press conference, and he basically put Biden on the spot and was talking about we need a ceasefire and all this other stuff that was going on. And I seen Biden up there touching his nose, doing a little body language like he was uncomfortable and all other stuff. But I'm glad that the King of Jordan put him on blast with a lot of that stuff that was going on. And if y'all ain't seen that clip, I did post the full thing on my Facebook. I should put it to my Instagram and stuff too, so that way people can see it if you didn't see the clip. But you can also go to Amanda Seals' Instagram, because that's where I took it from. And she posted it there as well. So it was a good video. But anyway, so I'm all about constructive criticism on both sides. I feel like people need to get themselves educated, because this is our country and our future is in the hands of these people that we put in place to run our country. So we should be allowed as pundits to constructively criticize when people aren't doing things. I don't need no biased bullshit like they do over at The View, where Joy and Whoopi stay up the Democrats' ass regardless, even when they do things that's incorrect or things y'all don't want to hear. I don't like the idea of the how they play around with stuff. And Bill Maher, he like Kanye, he lost his way a long goddamn time ago. So I stopped watching that buffoon when he talk about politics and stuff. I just feel like that man is long gone. But anyway, so. And this is why I said, like, I understand people like Don Lemon, because, Don Lemon is doing a new show with Elon Musk Twitter, because he can be over there expressing free thought, whether good or bad on social media, than being in a place where you're having your voice policed on Western media like CNN, MSNBC, or ABC, CBS, Fox, or NBC. So I get, like, what he's doing with that. And if Comedy Central is going to give Jon Stewart the space to really go out there and criticize Biden as well as Trump, since they're clearly going to be the two going head to head to run this country for the next 4 years. Then I would rather a Jon Stewart than someone who's only going to give me some one-sided biased bunch of BS, and then we got Western media trying to police or dox or try to find a way to like not get their voice out there and for it to be heard. So I totally get that. But I was, I remember I was talking to people earlier and they were in my comments and they were talking about how they feel like that show that Jon Stewart did on Apple TV Plus wasn't really all that great. And then also I want to point out this. I don't like the idea of, and this is what I said about, networks and all this other stuff. Y'all should not be allowing people like China and all these other places to influence how you run your business, because you're worrying about, oh, well, maybe you're interested in getting into AI, you're interested in getting into certain things. And if Jon Stewart says something, because you're about, oh, you worrying about him. No, you're not worrying about him. You're worrying about how what he said gonna fuck up your business. That's what you're really worrying about. That's the true tea. So, I don't want to be put in a place where it's like I'm working on a network and I'm trying to do my thing, but I have to sit and have in the back of my head that I have to worry about, oh, I'm gonna piss off the boss because now I'm questioning something that they're relatively interested in regards of their business, and that's going to mess it up because the people of China isn't going to like the fact that I have Jon Stewart on my network questioning their actions. So I don't like that. So the best thing I guess they did do was cancel his show on Apple TV Plus, and he's over back on Comedy Central, and they're gonna give him the freedom to do what it is that he does. So good luck to you. I don't know. Has it started? The new season with him aired yet? Because I'll definitely be checking it out. I mean, I'll check because I know it's on Paramount Plus, I think. I have the Daily Show over on there, so I'll definitely check it out and see if those episodes are up, and I'll give it a gander. All right, so let's move on to our next topic and talk about Jennifer Lopez, child. Speaking of people who letting themselves be influenced by money, global superstar J-Lo has caused an uproar over the weekend when she pocketed a rumored $5 million to be a guest of honor at the launch of a 5-star hotel in anti-gay Dubai. Now, shout out to Pink News for this story. It says J-Lo was invited to perform at the opening of a new luxury hotel for fellow celebrities over the weekend, with the guest list including Idris Elba, Naomi Campbell, and Naomi Campbell show up everywhere. It don't matter where she go. But anyway, Idris Elba, Naomi Campbell, and Vanessa Hudgens was there. She was reportedly paid $5 million, which would be $3.9 million in pounds, for her performance. Dubai, a city and emirate of the United Arab Emirates, has some of the toughest restrictions on LGBTQ plus rights in the world. Homosexuality is illegal and same-sex sexual activity is punishable by imprisonment, outlining a minimum term of 6 months and no maximum. The court can impose any sentence in line with the country's constitution, and capital punishment is a permitted outcome, for married people. As such, J-Lo has been slammed for performing in Dubai despite its repression of LGBTQ plus people. LGBTQ plus rights activist Peter Tatchell, told The Sun that it was very sad that a longtime LGBTQ ally like Jennifer Lopez is prepared to put money before human rights, saying her performance will collude with the regime's homophobia, misogyny, and generalized abuse of human rights. That's not the kind of thing Jennifer Lopez supports. She shouldn't be going, Tatchell added. The Dubai regime is using her to project a more liberal image. It's a cynical exercise, and it's shameful that she is going along with it. Now, previously, J-Lo has been a vocal supporter of the LGBTQ plus community. In 2014, she scooped the GLAAD Vanguard Award at the 25th Annual GLAAD Media Awards in LA. In her speech, she thanked the LGBT fans, saying, "I have to give it up for my lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender fans because they be loyal." So is that the reason why you supporting us? The same year, she proved herself as an advocate for equal marriage, saying, "Congratulations, England and Wales, gay marriage is legal today, hashtag equal marriage." They also said that, and after the 2016 shooting at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, Florida, J-Lo released a song with Hamilton creator Lin-Manuel Miranda as a tribute. The song "Love Makes the World Go Round" raised money for the victims of the shooting. Now, last year, as we as I brought up early in the show, remember, Beyonce went through the same situation when she performed at the opening of a Dubai hotel called Atlantis the Royal, and she earned $24 million for doing that. And someone basically said, however, despite the outcry from fans, she was defended by RuPaul's Drag Race season 15 judge T.S. Madison, who argued that she just went and got her bag, saying Beyonce is a superstar. People go to Dubai for many different reasons, and a lot of LGBTQIA people go to Dubai for a lot of those reasons. You know, Beyonce went there for some of the same reasons. She just went there to make her money. Everybody that loves Beyonce, everybody that knows that Beyonce loves the community, and not just loves the community, she dedicated her entire album, which is like the album of the year, to her fans, to the people that she loves. Okay, so now I gotta stop there because I feel like, okay, you know what, and you know I love you down, TS, but I feel like you're only being biased about this because she included you on Cozy. So if you like, I really feel like I really wish that even if somebody put me on a record, I would either say, you know what, I'm just excuse me from this because I really don't want to, because you know you are in a situation where you feel like you're afraid that someone's gonna remove you from their song. You're not gonna win your little Grammy that you got because you speaking out against something, or you gonna stand 10 toes down and say, you know, I love you, Beyonce, but all money ain't good money. And that's the same way I feel about Jennifer Lopez. All money ain't good money, especially, and I hate to bring this up because people got mad at me when and that video is still getting a lot of traction and a lot of comments. When I did a video about her non-binary child, Emmy, who didn't go to her father, Mark Anthony's wedding. That video is still getting traction on TikTok. Now, you have an alleged child that is a part of the LGBTQIA community, as well as your sister Leslie, I believe, has a non-binary or a trans child. So, as someone who has LGBT family members or people in that, especially your child, what kind of example does that set to your child that you run it over to Dubai and you're like, oh, they're gonna give me a $5 million check? Now I get it. You spent $20 million of your own money on this upcoming album and the visual album that's supposed to be coming up on on Amazon. I did read that she paid $20 million out of her own pocket for that to happen. So I get that. Maybe you need a little extra coin back in your situation. But girl, you're worth a whole lot of money. J-Lo got enough money in that damn bank. She don't need no more. Like, all money ain't good money. And you know, sometimes we all gotta have some kind of principles or morals or something, and just be like, you know what? Because of my gay fan base, and not just be like, oh, I love my gays. They so loyal. Excuse you? Like, that's not. Don't do that. Like, don't just be up in there just like taking the LGBT or the queer, I'll say the gays, the gay community. Don't take our kindness for weakness, or don't take our loyalty for granted because you have a problem, because you feel like, oh, we loyal, you know, regardless of what I do, they'll rock with me in the end. And and it's the same thing with Beyonce. It's like, oh yeah, 30 million. Did you really need that 30 million? I mean, shit, you were just allegedly paid 30 around that same amount for the Verizon commercial. So do you really need any more money when you're worth so much? Like, sometimes, like I said, all money ain't good money. And especially if you got enough money in the bank, sometimes y'all can say no to some stuff. Sometimes y'all need to have some kind of morals and principles. But it just goes to show that if y'all running around here, you know, rooted, you know, being led around about like money is y'all motivator, then just say that you just all about the bag. That's all you care about. To me, that's kind of sad though, that your whole entire life is rooted in coin. But if that's what you want, then that's what you just gonna have to live with. Okay, so we got some comments. Felix says Jon Stewart is hosting Mondays at the Daily Show. And Felix also says people were upset that Beyonce performed there too. She got paid $24 million. And as I said, I heard she got paid $30 million to do the Verizon commercial. And then well, look at her drinking around Ben when she's where he's in recovery. Well, you know, he smoked them cigarettes. Yeah, because she was trying to. What is that? That the Lola. Has anybody ever drank that drink that she got coming? That's out. Some celebrities do care. Yeah, they only care about the money. Exactly. But that's why I said if that's what that's about, then say that. Like, I'll totally, like, I won't agree with it, but I'll accept it because it's like, okay, well, if you was honest, well, I just needed the money. I needed the check. Well, okay, then that's great. But what is that? What's precedence is that set, especially when you have a large gay fan base that support you, that you're saying that, you know, I'm just gonna go to Dubai where these things happen to these people and they're, you know, you can go to jail. And I understand that y'all say that Well, there's a lot of gay people that go to the Dubai and all sorts of stuff, but yeah, but they're not out here wearing coochie cutting shorts or dressing in a dress like Billy Porter, doing all that. They go in there being very conservative and not doing anything, going laying their ass in jail until they get into the hotel room. Then you do whatever you want. Or they had their little secret sex parties, which I know they be doing out in Dubai too. Them gay parties. I know that shit goes down there. So the laws may be the laws, but you know they be some people doing some sneaky shit. And Cheryl said they care about, yeah, clearly it's all they care about. And like I said, even if I'm a fan of somebody, I'm gonna call them out on the stuff. It's only fair. You can't just be out here just blindly supporting and just being like, oh yeah, they just doing, whatever, and that's okay. No, I don't just blindly support everything people do. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Yeah, and like I stated, a movie special cost her $20 million. So maybe what it was that her going to Dubai, she did a little bit of that. She needed to put that money back in the bank. I'm laughing because I just read your last comment, which I'm about to post up. Look, you're the only one that said that album's gonna tank. There's a lot of people that's, you know what? I feel bad because J-Lo always seems to get so much shade when it comes to the music. I applaud her for really just being persistent and pursuing the music and still putting out music and doing what she do, even though, she gets the shade from the people in regards of, the albums and the music and the fact that she can't sing and she, Ashanti, I guess, is retiring. I heard all the jokes when she announced that, this might be final record. Yeah, I did see that. I was about to say, did it remove me from the thing? I don't know. And now all of a sudden the internet is gonna be is acting unstable. We got one more topic, Cham, and then we are gonna be getting out of here. So I really need y'all to like fix yourself and stop getting on my root canal nerve. So anyway, wait, where's my final banner? Okay, so let's get to our final topic and talk about The Bachelor, which is stating that they are considering a all queer season of The Bachelor. So after more than 2 decades of appropriating U-Haul culture, the Bachelor could get its very first queer season. Now, shout out to Al for this story. It says, during my tenure on the show, the two spinoffs that have been pitched to be the most frequent are a Bachelor for older people and a gay Bachelor. This is what EP Bennett Grabner recently told Variety. So we check one of those boxes. We're talking about checking out the other box. Grabner is referring to the recent success of The Golden Bachelor, a spinoff featuring 72-year-old Jerry Turner looking for love amongst his age group, something that was so successful, in fact, that they're already working on The Golden Bachelorette and hoping a similar twist on Bachelor in Paradise is possible. I would love to see an all-queer version of Bachelor in Paradise, no shade, but I would rather that over the queer Bachelor. But I'll watch that too, but let's continue. But as refreshing as that is, it still feels like an egregious oversight that the Bachelor franchise has aired 48 seasons of the primary two series, not to mention numerous international and additional US-based spinoffs, but still hasn't featured a queer-centric season. Oh, who's that? Oh, I was looking at this boy on Instagram. Never mind. I was like, we hope to get the opportunity to do that. This is what fellow EP Jason Ehrlich said. The most wonderful thing is that love is universal, and so is the frustration of not finding love. We love the opportunity to tell all kinds of people's stories. Now, despite lack of intentional queer matchmaking of the series, a number of its stars have come out as members of the LGBTQ plus community. Bachelor in Paradise has a little bit of queer love going on in a past season, and Bachelor Vietnam. There was a Bachelor. Well, I was like, wait, there's a Bachelor Vietnam, but of course, if you have the Bachelor, all parts of the world is going to come up with their own version. It's the same thing with Drag Race. They're going to have a Drag Race for every damn country or continent. So the Bachelor Vietnam once had two contestants give up their quest to find love with the male lead after. Oh yeah, I did hear about that story. So there was two contestants who was on the Bachelor Vietnam. They actually left the show because they fell in love with each other. Can you imagine? You know what? That would be the ultimate cackle if that happened on the Gay Bachelor. And I know that is the fear that a lot of people have. Oh, they all just gonna be up in there fucking. And how's that different than what the Breeders was doing? Like the straight people that was up in there doing all kinds of stuff, how was that different than what they were doing on the regular Bachelors? And I totally agree. It's the fact that it shouldn't, like in my opinion, it should not be difficult to find contestants to participate in this. I would really love that ABC would take the risk and do this, but I really feel like because America wants to pride itself on being like this whole conservative situation, and a lot of stuff that's going on where we have politicians, Republican politicians, trying to like Ron DeSantis, that demon ass bastard, Satan, trying to outlaw anything to do with Black people and anything to do with queer people, trying to stop drag queens from reading to kids, stopping trans people from using bathrooms, stopping trans people, from getting hormones and all that kinds of stuff. So all the discrimination that LGBTQ people are dealing with, I'm glad that we have shows like RuPaul's Drag Race that are pushing the needle, forward and is providing a space for queer people to be their authentic selves, good, bad, or indifferent. And I feel like when it comes to dating shows, why can't we have those? I don't know if y'all have Out TV, but I watch For the Love of Dills. They're in their second season. I told you somebody I know was on there, Nick Mask. Well, I've hung out with a couple of times when I was living in LA. Like we're not friends, but I've been in the circle with him and hung out with that circle of friends. But anyway, so they got For the Love of Dills is on, which is a diverse cast. A lot of the guys on there, the gays, are from New York. There's a lot of Black guys, Latino guys, fat or thick. I'll say thick. I won't say fat. We have thick guys. We have guys who are in shape. So it's like all different shapes and body types and races and nationalities and all that sort of thing. So I love the Love of Dills because it's diverse, which is like you got your daddies and you have your himbos trying to find love. So, speaking of which, I didn't watch the new episode. I think it came out yesterday, so I need to check that out. But anyway, so there was that. And remember, once upon a time, not that long ago, on Logo, we had the show with Robert Sepulveda, which was, oh my God, what was the name of that damn show? Finding Prince Charming. So we had that show, but then the controversy came out that Robert Sepulveda was a sex worker. And instead of him admitting to owning up to it, and kind of taking more of an approach of like, okay, yeah, I did that, and so what? What he did was he tried to run away from it. And then that show only lasted one season. So I do feel like it's about time. We need more diverse stories on TV. Network television need to stop worrying so much about what middle America is going to think and really just put those shows out there and for those who are going to watch the show are going to watch the show. The homophobes, you can never satisfy them or please them. There's always going to be people on social media that's going to air their grievances, that's going to hate on the fact that the gays are on TV trying to come for their children and corrupt their children and because apparently we can't have no representation. Only white heterosexual cis people can have representation. Nobody else can have the right to have their own thing on TV or have any kind of representation. And at the end of the day, that's all we want. All queer people want. We want to see a version of ourselves on TV, scripted or unscripted. That's all we want. We're not out here trying to corrupt your kids because gays are going to be gays. And at the end of the day, I don't know if y'all see statistics. I don't know exactly what the numbers are, but there's a rise. Like Gen Z has come out. There's more kids that have come out as queer in the Gen Z and the Gen Alpha demographic than any other demographic. So there are more queer people out here than y'all realize. People who identify as gay, non-binary, trans. So the demographics are on the rise. So if there's any time that y'all want to infiltrate the compound and come out with a queer version of The Bachelor, it'd be now. And even if The Bachelor doesn't want to take on that responsibility, I feel like there needs to be other people out here who need to create those type of shows. And who knows? If y'all need a host for the Gay Bachelor, you can call me or email me. I'm available. I'll host it. I'll host that and I'll host the reunion. I told you I want to start doing hosting some competition shows. If I put some shit out in the universe, usually it happens. So I'm putting my hat in the ring. I wouldn't mind hosting, and hope from my mouth to God's ears, it'll happen. So, are y'all here for a queer version of The Bachelor? Let me know down in the comments down below. Felix says, I heard something about them doing a Golden Bachelor. Yeah, I mentioned that in the story that they're talking about because of the success of the Golden Bachelor, which I saw like the Golden Bachelor was a huge hit for ABC. They're looking to do a Golden Bachelorette. I've actually not seen the Ultimatum. I've heard of the show, but I've never really watched it. I remember on Bravo 20 years ago, there was a show called Boy Meets Boy, which is the first gay dating show. Yeah, they've always tried to do gay dating shows, but I always felt that when they've done gay dating shows, that it was always some BS attached to it. Because remember when Tila Tequila did one? A Shot at Love, that show was a hot ass mess. Or they always do some shows where it's just like, oh yeah, we're doing a gay show, but you got to identify who's the gay one and who's the straight one. I was like, y'all playing around with people's sexuality and y'all playing around with this stuff like it's a joke. No, we need a real, authentic gay. You could do the lesbians or you could do gay men. I would like both. So, I mean, as a man, I only watch the gay one. The lesbians, y'all can have y'all's. But because I can relate more with gay men than I can lesbian. That's why. But we need that representation. So I'm here for it. And hopefully it happens. But I just feel like America just be so scared. And isn't there a show, I believe over in the UK, there's a gay dating show that Danny Minogue hosts. I think they're supposed to come out with a season 2 of that. I forgot the name of it, but I know that Kylie's sister was hosting a gay dating show over in the UK. And it said, he said after Queer Eye, I live for the old Queer Eye. The new one, no. But I used to live for the old Queer Eye, especially, that theme song. I used to pump that all the time. But I think Thunderpuss produced it. And then Cheryl J says, yes, that they are here for a all queer season of The Bachelor. So yes. So it's funny, right on the dot. So we have come to the end of our show. I was trying to mute that. Okay. So thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of Kris Avalon Unfiltered. Damn, I did 2 hours on the dot. Thank you for watching this episode of Kris Avalon Unfiltered. Do yourselves a favor if you haven't already. Hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of the show. I want to thank all of you that were in the comments that were commenting, such as Cheryl J. We have Felix up in here. We had Cleveland Legends. I think that was basically it. So yeah, we had y'all would use the comment, and those of you who are actually I can see that are got eyes on the show. Thank you all for tuning in and stuff. And yes, so until next time, love you all for watching. Love you all for having me on in the background while you're doing your cooking and helping with the homework or whatever the case is. But yes, love you all for watching. And until next time, ciao, darlings.